I'm gonna tell you the dirty little secret that most real estate investors don't like to talk about or don't even like to admit. You lose money sometimes when you invest in real estate. Hopefully it doesn't happen very often, but it's going to happen. So in this video, I'm gonna show you the top 3 ways that I feel like I can help you lose money less frequently, or maybe even not at all. Let's go. Before I get into those top 3 reasons, make sure you like this video. That's all I'm asking. Just go over here in the corner, give it a like as you're watching. It's not much commitment on your part, so please just give it a like, and also stay tuned to the end for Macy's joke of the day. Great dad joke. I love real estate investing. I've made a lot of money investing in real estate over the past several years. However, I have made I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I've learned my lesson through those mistakes. There's been a couple of projects where I've lost 20, 30 grand. Now, obviously, overall, I've made way more than I've lost. I've only lost on probably a handful, but it does happen. And each time, it was the same 3 things that I did not look at right, I didn't calculate right, or I didn't just take into equation when I was actually putting the offer on the property and trying to figure out how much money I was gonna make and how much to offer. So I'm gonna go over those 3 things now, so hopefully maybe you won't ever lose money, or if you do, it's not gonna be very much because you're gonna have these 3 things on the top of your mind as you're evaluating your next deal. The first mistake that most people make if they lose money on a project or if they don't make very much profit is they underestimate the cost of the repairs. It's very, very easy to do. It's very, very easy to miss a small item or a big item along the way. You know, most of the things that get overlooked are roofs, HVAC systems, windows. Everybody knows that the kitchen needs replaced, and everybody, you know, if they've done a rehab before, they can bid out how much it's going to cost to repair a kitchen. But if you don't climb up on the roof, you might not know that it needs replacing. If you don't know what to look for when you're looking at HVAC systems or water heaters or electric panels, you know, some of the systems that run the house, those are costly, expensive items that get overlooked a lot. And also windows. Most people don't open and close every window. Most people don't even check the windows as they're walking through their house, because if it's not something at the top of your mind, you're looking at the floors, you're looking at the baseboards, you're looking at the doors, you're maybe looking at the kitchen or the bathroom, just all the big stuff, the ceilings, whatever it is. When you walk or looking around the house, all the main things usually don't get looked. But those minimal things, windows can be $300 to $500, maybe even more per window if you miss that. And HVAC systems, if you don't look and the HVAC does need replaced, or you don't get it inspected by a professional before or shortly after closing, that could be $3, $4, $5, $6, $8, $9, $10,000 if you have to replace the whole system. So these are costly items that get overlooked. So what I would suggest doing is, as you're going through the property, creating a list of everything that needs to be done to the property in any house. It may take you a while, and it may take you a couple different times, but go and write down every single part of the house. Write down on the outside, start with the outside, look at the siding, look at the soffits, the fascia, the gutters, the landscape, the roof, the backyard, fence line, everything you could possibly need when you're looking at a property. Go through that in your head and write it down. Same with the inside. Walk through the house. You know, you're going to write down floors, obviously, baseboards, but don't forget the big ticket items that could potentially be overlooked, like your water heater, your electric system, your HVAC system, and your plumbing stack, or your windows, just the bigger items. Obviously, write down the kitchen, the bathrooms, you know, all those type of different things. But if you miss a couple doors, that's probably not the end of the world. But if you miss that the house has 14 windows that are $400 a piece, that could really blow your budget and either make you lose money or make you not make as much money as you thought you were going to. So it may be simple, but it is important, and seasoned investors screw this up all the time. Have some discipline and diligence as you're going through your rehab scope. And when you put it all together, make sure you look at everything, overestimate every item, and I would add at least 10% to the bottom line after you calculate your rehab budget. Add at least 10%, and do not forget about the holding costs, your interest you're paying, your insurance you're paying, and your utilities you're paying as you're owning the property. If you spend a little bit extra time, and if you write all that down and go through each line item of the house and include your holding cost, you should be pretty safe. As I'm going through these 3 things, I'm about to show you number 2. Check out this video above where I talk about the max allowable formula. It takes all of these things into account and shows you how you calculate the actual offer to put on the property. Give you some examples and run some real life numbers to show you where you should be if, you know, certain things are the way they should be in your analysis. The second thing that most people overlook if they lose money or don't make as much money on the deal is they overestimate the ARV, which stands for after repair value. When you're running the formula and when you're looking at how much to pay for your house, you need to take into account how much the house is going to sell for once it is fixed up. You need to look and find 3 comparable house sales. You could do this yourself, through Zillow or Trulia or one of those types of sites, or PropStream. Or I would suggest getting a real estate agent involved if you don't have your license already. Speaking of that, I have a video up here talking about if you should or shouldn't get your real estate license. As I'm recording this video, it is getting ready to drop. So it's a good video. Hopefully it does well, but it tells you whether you should get your license or not. Spoiler alert, I think you should. So get yourself entrenched in the data, look at what you have available to you. If you don't have access to the MLS, which stands for Multiple Listing Service, contact an agent if you don't already have one and have them help run 3 comparable house sales. How you're gonna find out how much your house is gonna sell for in the next 3, 6, 7, 8 months, however long the rehab whole process takes, you need to find out what houses are selling for today. And how you do that is find 3 houses that have sold in the last 6 months or less that are as similar to your house as possible. If you are running comparables and your house that you're buying is a 2-bed, 1-bath ranch, you cannot compare that to a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-story. It has to be as similar to your house possible as far as the style of the house, the age of the house, the condition of the repairs of the house, and the size of the house as far as the bedrooms and bathrooms go. You need to be as like your property as possible. And when you're looking at those houses that have sold recently, you need to be conservative. If you're running some comparables and you have 5 or 6 houses that are pretty similar to how your house is going to be, within a third of a mile, look at all of the ranges and go with the lower end. If a house sold for $310, if a house sold for $305, $295 and $285, if those are, I would go off of that $285. You need to be conservative. You might not buy as many deals, but I promise you're not gonna lose as much money or money at all, and you will make more money if you be conservative and go in that lower end of that range. So as you're looking at what you think your house is going to sell for, by running recent comparable sales data, be as conservative as possible. That will play to your strengths in the long run, I promise, and you will make more money. The third issue that most people have, or the mistake that they make if they don't make as much money as they thought we were going to, or lose money, because it happens, is kind of a combination of the first 2 I gave you, but it has to do with the timeline of the project. Most people think that everything's gonna go smoothly. The windows are gonna arrive on time, the roofer's gonna get the job done right away, we're gonna have perfect weather. None of that stuff really ever happens. It's kind of like a perfect game in baseball. How often do perfect games happen? Not very often. So take that into account. It's probably just going to be a normal game, a normal project with issues, with errors, going on this baseball analogy a little bit more, with walks, and it's not going to be a perfect game. So just understand that and be conservative. If you haven't noticed, I've used that word quite a bit in here because that's what I have learned. Because I've lost money on deals where I got too aggressive, or I didn't calculate something properly, or I just simply overlooked it because I wasn't being disciplined. So being conservative on your time frame, understanding that things take time. Even if things go relatively well, it's still probably not going to happen as quickly as you think it should. So if you have a simple, pretty simple $20,000 to $30,000 rehab and you think it's going to take you 30 days, I'm here to tell you it's probably not. So don't want to disappoint you. So make sure you're being as conservative as possible. If you kind of have ran a timeline in your mind and talked to some contractors and you think it's going to take 3 months, I would calculate at least 4 months on that. There's no set number to, say add a certain percentage of time over what you're allocating, but just understand that it's going to probably take longer than you think it is. If it's a 3 or 4 month project, I would calculate 5 or 6 months in your head, as well as calculating the holding costs for an extra few months. You're gonna have to pay more insurance, you're gonna have to pay more interest, you're gonna have to pay more utilities. There are just more things that you're gonna have to pay the longer you own it. So not only is it potentially going to be listed a different time of the year that you might not have been anticipating, you're also going to have more holding costs because you own it longer. So just understand that things take longer than you think they will, even for seasoned real estate investors. We have about 75 houses a year. And sorry, Sam, our project manager, not this Sam, I bet 5 of them or less come in on time. Most of things go over budget. Most rehabs go over time. Most rehabs cost more than you think they're gonna cost, and they take longer than you think they're gonna take. So just take that into account. I know these are simple things, but if you take these 3 things into account when you're evaluating your properties, Yates will get mad if I guarantee. I can't guarantee anything, but I can confidently say you will make more money and you will lose money less, or maybe not at all. All right, here's Maisie's joke of the day. How does a penguin build its house? It glues it together. All right, thanks for watching. Please just give this video a like if you thought that joke was funny, at least. Even if you didn't like the video, give this video a like because of the joke. See you on the next one. The second thing that most people, if they're gonna lose money on a deal, overlook is, what is it? Oh yeah. You're looking at everything. I'm looking at the floors, I'm looking at the baseboards, I'm looking at the windows. Because I'm looking at the floors, looking at the baseboards, I'm looking at the trim around the windows. Why do I keep saying windows? Because I don't miss them. All right.